Let's start with a bold truth right now. Most men are doing it all wrong. They think chasing a woman, texting her constantly, and showing too much interest makes them attractive. It doesn't. In fact, the moment you overinvest, you destroy your value in her eyes. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could be a man with the best looks, the best job, and the best personality, but if you don't understand one simple psychological rule, she won't feel the pull you want. That rule? The power of ignoring. Before you panic, let me clarify. I'm not telling you to be cruel. I'm not telling you to manipulate or play games like some shallow pickup artist nonsense. What I'm talking about is real strategic psychology, a method that taps into how human attraction actually works, especially in women. You see, ignoring a woman, when done correctly, is like lighting a spark and letting curiosity and desire do the rest of the work for you. It's an art, and yes, it's also a little dark. But it works. And if you ignore it, you're likely stuck in the same loop of frustration, over-texting, getting ghosted, and wondering why your efforts never get the results you want. Here's where it gets controversial. Society has sold men a lie that says, be kind, be available, be attentive, and women will fall for you. That's garbage. Overly available men often appear desperate. They lose attraction. They become boring. Women, like all humans, are wired to chase value, not chase attention. And this is where most men fail. They give too much, too fast, expecting instant results, and then get frustrated when it doesn't work. Now let's talk about the psychology behind ignoring. When you pull back, when you stop chasing, two things happen. First, you create a mystery. Mystery is magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men they can't fully predict. They want to understand you, figure you out, and yes, even challenge you. Second, you give her space to invest emotionally. The more a woman invests emotionally, the stronger her attachment. Ironically, the less you push, the more she pulls. That's the dark art of attraction in action. Here's another controversial truth. Most men ignore this power because they confuse ignoring with arrogance. Big mistake. Ignoring isn't about acting like a jerk. It's about maintaining your worth and self-respect while letting attraction grow naturally. It's about showing that your life is full, that your time is valuable, and that you're not dependent on validation from her. Men who master this are the ones women notice. Men who don't are invisible, no matter how good-looking or successful they are. Let me break it down simply. Think of attraction like a game of tug-of-war. If you pull too hard, she'll push back. If you pull less, give her a little space, she starts pulling toward you. Ignoring, strategically, is your way of controlling the rope without appearing controlling. It's subtle. It's psychological. It's magnetic. And it's brutally effective. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, isn't this kind of manipulative? Here's the answer. Yes, but all attraction involves influence. Every look, every smile, every word we say or don't say affects how someone feels about us. The difference between a man who understands the psychology and one who doesn't is the difference between attracting effortlessly and constantly struggling to get attention. If you're willing to play by these rules, you can completely change the way women respond to you. If you're not, you're stuck being average. Here's the real kicker. Most men are terrified of losing her attention, so they give too much. But the truth is, the moment you stop chasing, the moment you let your presence be felt but not overplayed, her mind starts working in your favor. She begins to notice the little things. Your confidence, your independence, your calmness. She wonders what you're thinking, why you're so calm, why you're not acting desperate. Curiosity builds desire, desire builds attraction, and attraction, that's the currency in relationships and connections. So let's get one thing clear. Ignoring isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about creating emotional scarcity in the right way. It's about teaching a woman, subtly, psychologically, that your attention is earned, not given freely. And the dark part? Many men will never understand this. They'll continue over-investing, over-texting, and over-explaining, missing the simple formula that makes women naturally intrigued and drawn to you. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to use this art and psychology, not to hurt anyone, but to transform your interactions with women completely. You'll learn why less is more, why silence can be louder than words, and why strategic absence is one of the most powerful tools a man can have. Here's the controversial truth to leave you with before we dive in. The men who chase will lose, and the men who know when to step back will always win. It's uncomfortable, it's counterintuitive, but it's brutally honest. If you've been struggling, frustrated, or feeling invisible in your interactions, it's not your looks, your job, or your personality. It's your approach, and that's about to change. Stop chasing, start igniting. Here's a truth most men refuse to admit. Chasing a woman doesn't make her interested, it makes her bored. You could be sending constant messages, buying gifts, or always being available, and she will still not feel that spark. Why? Because attraction isn't built on attention. It's built on value. The moment you chase, you show her one thing above all. You need her. And nothing kills desire faster than neediness. Let me break it down for you. Women, like all humans, are wired to notice what they can't easily have. This is not about manipulation or being cruel. It's basic psychology. If everything about you is easy, predictable, and always available, her mind doesn't have to work to notice you. She doesn't feel tension, she doesn't feel curiosity, and without tension and curiosity, attraction fades. Now, here's where most men make the biggest mistake. They confuse kindness and attention with attraction. They think texting her constantly, agreeing with everything she says, or showing up whenever she calls will make her fall for them. It won't. In fact, it's the opposite. Constant attention lowers your value because it removes the mystery. Attraction thrives on challenge, on emotional push and pull, and on the sense that your attention is not guaranteed. Think about it this way. When was the last time someone you could always have felt exciting? Probably never. Now imagine someone you can't fully predict. Someone who has their own life, their own priorities, and their own energy. That's magnetic. That's the man women notice. That's the man who makes her think about him when she's not around. That's the man who ignites desire without saying a word. Here's a scenario that shows exactly how this works. Imagine a man who has been talking to a woman for a few weeks. Instead of texting her back immediately every time, he waits. He responds thoughtfully, but he doesn't over-explain himself or try to prove his interest. He focuses on his life, his work, his hobbies, his friends, while still keeping a friendly connection. The woman notices. She starts to wonder why he isn't chasing her. She asks herself, why isn't he texting me constantly? What is he doing? That curiosity creates tension, and tension is the fuel of attraction. Contrast that with a man who replies immediately to every message, agrees with everything she says, and rearranges his schedule just to spend time with her. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but very quickly, the spark disappears. There's no mystery, no tension, no pull. She doesn't value his presence because he has given it freely, without resistance. The chase is gone, and so is her excitement. This is the dark art of attraction. The less you chase, the more you ignite. The more you overinvest, the more you kill desire. It sounds counterintuitive, but it works every time. Ignoring the urge to constantly seek validation isn't about being mean. It's about raising your value. It's about showing that your attention is earned, not automatically given. Another reason this works is that women, like men, are emotional beings. When you chase relentlessly, you create comfort, but comfort does not equal attraction. Desire comes from uncertainty, curiosity, and emotional engagement. When you stop chasing, you create a subtle tension that triggers these emotions. She begins to pay attention in a different way. Her mind starts working. Her heart starts racing. Attraction is building without you even trying. The key is balance. Ignoring doesn't mean disappearing completely or being cold. It means stepping back enough to create space for her interest to grow. It means letting your life, your confidence, and your independence do the talking. A single thoughtful message, a confident presence, and the occasional absence speak louder than hours of chasing ever could. It's also about timing. A man who chases at the wrong moment, before she's emotionally invested, or before she feels the spark, often ruins the opportunity. The right approach is to allow attraction to develop naturally, to let curiosity and desire do their work, while maintaining your own sense of self and priorities. This is what separates men who are noticed from men who are ignored. Here's a final point. The moment you stop chasing, you stop acting from need and start acting from choice. That distinction changes everything. Neediness is visible. Choice is attractive. A man who chooses when to engage, who controls his attention, who values himself first, becomes magnetic. Women notice it instantly. Desire is triggered, curiosity sparks, and attraction grows, all without begging, over-explaining, or chasing. To put it bluntly, if you've been chasing and wondering why nothing works, it's not her fault. It's your approach. You're over-giving, over-texting, and over-investing, thinking that effort equals interest. It doesn't. Stop chasing, step back, live your life fully, and watch how desire ignites naturally without effort. The art of attraction is not in running after her. It's in letting her run after you, naturally, without forcing it. Silence speaks louder. Most men underestimate one of the most powerful tools in attraction: silence. They think talking constantly, explaining themselves, and keeping the conversation alive is what makes a connection. It doesn't. Silence has a magnetic quality that words often can't compete with. When you understand how to use it, you control the energy in the interaction. You control the pull, the tension, the intrigue. Think about how it feels when someone doesn't chase, doesn't over-explain, and doesn't give away everything about themselves. There's an emptiness in their presence that draws attention. You find yourself wondering, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Why aren't they texting more? That feeling, curiosity, is exactly what builds desire. Men who fail at attraction fill every moment with words, trying too hard, and in doing so, they destroy the tension that makes someone care. Silence works because it creates a gap. Humans naturally try to fill gaps. We're wired to solve mysteries, to seek answers, to chase what we don't fully understand. When you step back, when you resist the urge to over-communicate, you become that mystery. Your absence makes her notice your presence more. Your calm detachment signals confidence. Your life doesn't revolve around her, and that is profoundly attractive. Here's the controversial truth. Most men ruin their chances because they are afraid of silence. They think not replying immediately will make them lose her interest. They panic and overcompensate. They text, call, explain, apologize, and try to fix the situation. Ironically, it's this very behavior that kills attraction. Women are drawn to confidence, independence, and emotional control, not desperation. Silence is the ultimate expression of these qualities. You can relate to this in your own life. Have you ever noticed how someone who doesn't constantly seek your attention feels more intriguing than someone who always wants to be with you? That's the effect of strategic silence. It's not cruelty. It's the art of letting curiosity and desire build naturally. It's the art of showing that your presence is valuable and not taken for granted. Silence also forces emotional investment. When a man is quiet and selective with his energy, the other person starts to invest emotionally. She wonders why you're not as eager as everyone else. She notices your confidence, your independence, your ability to control your emotions. She begins to value what you offer because it's not constantly available. The human mind reacts to scarcity. The less something is given, the more it is desired. Another key aspect is presence. Silence doesn't mean absence. It means you're present in a way that leaves her wanting more. It means your words, your attention, your energy are given strategically, not out of need. It means you're in control of the interaction without appearing controlling. When done correctly, silence speaks louder than hours of words. It shows that your life is full, your priorities are clear, and you are not defined by her responses. Here's the hard truth many men avoid. Too much communication often signals weakness. It shows dependency, insecurity, and lack of emotional control. Silence, on the other hand, signals strength. It signals that you are comfortable being yourself and not desperate for approval. Women notice this immediately. Attraction is built in the mind long before it is expressed in words. Silence allows that mental attraction to grow. Many men try to fix the dynamic by over-explaining, trying to maintain interest, or constantly seeking validation. That's the opposite of attraction. Attraction is subtle, quiet, and confident. It's about letting the other person chase, let them wonder, and let desire develop naturally. When you embrace silence, you become the kind of man who is noticed, valued, and respected, not just another voice in her inbox. Finally, silence teaches control. It teaches patience, self-respect, and the understanding that your attention is your most valuable currency. The more you give it freely, the less it is valued. The more you give it wisely, the more it creates intrigue, desire, and emotional investment. This is why silence is not absence. It's strategy. It's subtle. It's powerful. And it's completely underutilized by most men who think talking constantly is the key to connection. The reality is simple. Men who embrace silence create attraction naturally. Men who fear it destroy their chances. Words are cheap, but presence, confidence, and control, expressed through silence, are priceless. The moment you stop over-communicating, the moment you allow space to work its magic, you stop chasing and start attracting. She pulls when you step back. Here's a truth most men refuse to face. If you're always chasing, you're not building attraction. You're building frustration. You think being available, texting constantly, and trying to prove your worth will make her interested. It won't. It actually does the opposite. The harder you push, the more she pulls away. And the sad part? Most men don't even realize they're doing this to themselves. This is where the dark psychology of attraction comes in. When you step back, when you stop chasing and stop over-investing, something incredible happens. You create a space that naturally pulls her toward you. Curiosity sparks, interest grows, and desire begins to build. But most men are too blind to see it because they're stuck in the trap of constant validation seeking. They text too much, they follow too hard, and they confuse availability with value. Wake up. It doesn't work like that. The reality is simple. People want what they can't easily have. This isn't manipulation. It's human nature. When you step back, you force her to notice your absence, to think about you when you're not around. She begins to value what she doesn't get automatically. Attraction is no longer one-sided. She starts investing emotionally, mentally, and even physically without you pushing. But most men never get here because they're too busy trying to prove themselves, too busy overgiving, too busy being invisible in their own power. Let's be honest, too many men are asleep when it comes to understanding attraction. They believe effort equals interest. They think the more attention they give, the more she will like them. That's a myth. In reality, over-effort signals neediness. Neediness signals low value, and low value destroys attraction. Women are not just looking for attention, they're looking for men who have their own lives, their own priorities, and their own confidence. Step back, and you become that man. Another key insight, stepping back isn't about ignoring completely or being cold, it's about balance. It's about creating tension without being cruel. It's about letting her pull while you maintain your presence, your independence, and your calm. When you stop being overly available, you stop acting from fear and start acting from choice. That difference is magnetic. Women notice a man who controls his energy, who doesn't overgive, and who has the confidence to let desire develop naturally. Here's the criticism men need to hear. If you're constantly chasing, you're likely chasing the wrong way. You're giving away your energy too freely, looking for validation, and letting your emotions dictate your actions. Stop. Wake up. Your attention is your most valuable currency, and you've been spending it on people who may never fully appreciate it. Step back, conserve your energy, and let her come to you instead. That's how real attraction works. It's also about emotional investment. When you step back, she starts investing her energy, thoughts, and emotions into you. She starts wondering what you're thinking, why you're not chasing, and what your life is really like. That curiosity builds tension, and tension builds desire. Attraction grows in ways words alone could never achieve. But most men never experience this because they're too busy chasing, too busy over-explaining, too busy trying to force feelings that can't be forced. Let's put it bluntly. Stepping back is a wake-up call for men who have been blind to the rules of attraction. If you're giving too much, chasing too hard, and feeling frustrated, it's not her, it's your approach. Women respond to confidence, independence, and self-respect. They respond to men who understand the art of attraction, who know when to step forward and when to step back. Most men fail because they never learn this. The moment you step back strategically, you stop being desperate and start being magnetic. You stop over-communicating and start letting your presence speak. You stop chasing and start letting her chase. And that, my friend, is the difference between being ignored and being desired. Here's the final truth. Men, wake up. Stop running after attention. Stop overgiving. Stop destroying attraction with neediness. Step back, maintain your value, and let curiosity and desire do the work. When you do this, you'll notice something incredible. She pulls toward you naturally, effortlessly, and with genuine interest. It's not magic, it's psychology, and it's one of the most overlooked, most misunderstood truths in attraction. The hard truth men refuse to accept. Here's a statement that's going to make some of you uncomfortable. Most men fail with women not because they're unattractive, unsuccessful, or lacking in charm, but because they give too much, too soon, and too freely. That's the uncomfortable truth. The men who chase constantly, who overtext, who overexplain, and who bend over backward to please women are the ones left frustrated, invisible, and rejected. And the worst part? Many of these men don't even realize they are sabotaging themselves. It's controversial because society has spent decades telling men the opposite. Be attentive, be available, give her everything, and she will like you. That advice is not just outdated, it's dangerous for attraction. It trains men to undervalue themselves and overvalue someone else's approval. And here's the brutal truth. If you're doing that, you are giving her the power over your emotions. You're letting her decide your self-worth. That's not attraction. That's dependency. And dependency kills desire every single time. Wake up, men. The art of attraction is not about chasing. It's about creating a pull. It's about raising your value in ways she can feel, but not fully control. It's about knowing your worth, controlling your energy, and understanding the psychology behind desire. It's about knowing when to step forward and when to step back, when to speak, and when to remain silent. Most men never reach this level of awareness, and that's why they remain stuck, frustrated, and confused. Here's the controversial part. If you are one of those men, the only person who can change your results is you. No one else. Women are not responsible for your frustration. They are not obligated to like you. Attraction is a two-way street, but the engine that drives it is your own behavior, your own mindset, and your own strategy. Stop blaming her for your failures. Stop thinking that more effort automatically equals more results. The truth is the opposite. Stop chasing, step back, and watch what happens. I want you to really take that in. If you've been chasing, texting, explaining, overgiving, and wondering why it never works, the problem isn't her. It's your approach. And it's fixable. But it requires awareness, patience, and the courage to stop acting from need. Most men never have the guts to do this because it's uncomfortable. They think stepping back is losing. In reality, stepping back is winning. Stepping back is powerful. Stepping back is how attraction is actually built. Here's where I want you to connect with me. I want you to comment below about your experiences. Tell me what you've tried, what's frustrated you, and how often you feel like you're chasing without results. I'll read your comments. I'll reach out where I can. This isn't just a video, it's a conversation. A lot of men feel isolated, stuck, and lost in their approach to women, and I want to create a connection that helps change that. Your struggles are valid, but they don't define you. What defines you is how you respond, how you adapt, and how you implement real strategies. Remember, attraction is subtle, psychological, and strategic. It's not about yelling louder, giving more, or chasing harder. It's about knowing your value, maintaining control, and letting desire grow naturally. It's about understanding that less is more. Less chasing, less overinvestment, less desperation, more mystery, more presence, more power. The men who master this are the ones who are noticed, respected, and desired. The men who don't are left wondering why nothing works. So here's the last hard, controversial truth for you. If you are always chasing, over-explaining, or over-giving, you are actively killing your chances with women. You are making yourself less attractive, less respected, and less desired every single time. And the only way to fix it is to stop. Stop chasing. Step back. Let curiosity, tension, and desire do the work that your effort can't. This is not easy. It's uncomfortable, but it works. And when you start doing this consistently, you'll notice a shift. Not just in how women respond to you, but in how you feel about yourself. You'll feel stronger, more confident, and more in control. That's the true power of attraction, and that's what separates the average man from the magnetic man. Now it's your turn. Comment your experiences below. Share your frustrations, your wins, or even your doubts. I'll read them. I'll connect with you. We're in this together. Attraction isn't a game of luck, it's a skill. And the men who choose to wake up, step back, and play strategically will always win.